Distinguished colleagues, the Senate in a closed session was briefed by the Honorable Minister Come. Is this what we get to do? Distinguished colleagues, the Senate in a closed session discussed matters bordering on the National Assembly, the affairs of the nation, and other sundry issues, and came to some resolutions that will move the nation forward. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the closed session? Leader of the Senate. Yes, point of order, Senator Shuru.
Mr. President, I'm coming under Order 42, personal explanation. Can I read, sir?
Please, you may read.
By the indulgence of the Senate and the leave of President of the Senate, Senator may make a personal explanation, although there be no question before the Senate, but no controversial matter may be brought forward, nor may debate arise upon the explanation. The terms of the proposed statement shall be submitted in detail to the President of Senate when his leave to make it is sought. No, you want to submit it to... Is there now? Do you have it? You have that.
Distinguished colleagues, Senator Ashiru, our leader, had actually approached me about an issue that has breached his fundamental right and also infringed on his floor immunity and privilege. And he felt that he should bring it to the attention of the Senate under personal explanation. But here he says, by the indulgence of the Senate. Is it the view of the Senate that he be allowed to proceed? Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Senator Shuru, you may proceed.
Mr. Senate President, I will want to, my personal explanation is on the issue of NDLA malicious reaction to the debate on the bill seeking to establish an institute for drug awareness and rehabilitations. I express my concern and my contribution on this bill for so many reasons. For the simple reason that there are a lot of informations from my constituency on the negative effect of drug consumption and trafficking, to the extent that today one of my constituency members was asserting that in the last 2 years, he can count up to 50 people who had lost their sanity based on consumption of drug. Equally too, there are visible examples of barons, mini barons, who are making money through distribution of drug in my constituency and other constituencies too. Equally too, we observe that there are increase in drug-related crime. And because of these and many other reasons, I strongly contributed on the floor of the Senate that the Senate should look into the operation of NDLA and advise that issue of corruption among the operative should be looked into, to the extent that after debate, I fully supported the bill on the establishment of another agency that will take care of rehabilitation. Your Excellency, by this, I'm coming under Order 42, personal explanation, to explain and clear myself on the insinuation published, especially in Daily Trust, that I, Senator Ashiru, is involved in distribution of drugs. I want to ascertain that in my life, I'm upward of 78 years now. I'm 68 years now. I assert that I cannot even identify what we call cannabis or any drug. Beyond taking water, I don't take alcohol. I don't take any drug. I don't even take carbonated drinks. Beyond taking water and normal food, I don't get myself involved in this thing. Your Excellency, my reaction on my finding is simple. The basis of this debased publication can only be traced to my contribution on the floor of Senate on the issue raised in October 15, 2024, to which I offer my views on the subject as best known to me, rather than the NLA to address the issues raised by the Senate. The agency resorted to subterfuge and gaslighting. This is an attempt to cow the Senate of its rights to free debate on issues of national interest and hear opinions on the floor of Senate. The ambiguous resolve of the Senate is that the menace of drug should be frontally confronted no matter the personality involved. The NDA has made unfounded allegations against me. These allegations are malicious, an attempt to undermine my credibility as a senator and impede my ability to fully participate in parliamentary debate. Your Excellency, I am of opinion that for the protection of myself as a member of this hallowed chamber, for the protection of the Senate and other senators, we must do something about this as we submit.
Thank you. Distinguished colleagues, Senator Shiru came under Order 42 of our rules, under personal explanation, which does not engender debate. And therefore, he has presented his point. I personally feel that whatever the NDL is doing must be based on your submission here, which you pointed out that the issue of integrity of the officials should be looked into. And, you know, when the bill for the establishment of the rehabilitation center for drug takers or drug users was raised. So if the NDA felt that you were a drug baron, they should have arrested you before you got to 30 years. They should have brought it up before you were 50. They would have brought it up before you were 60. They would have brought it up before you were 65. Not at the age of 68, just after your contribution on the floor of the Senate. And I understand the person that went on television was even alluding to the fact that you made contributions on the floor and trying to quote what you said on the floor. I think Nigerians are not aware of the Constitution and the laws. The laws of the land. Anything you say here is privileged. It's covered with immunity. It's not subject to debate on the radio or television. So we feel that, I don't want to jump into conclusion, but you have never been invited by NDLA. You have never been charged to come by NDLA. NDLA never said anything about you as a person. And we in the Senate, we see you as a gentleman to the core. You are not even somebody that takes alcohol. So these things, we must, my dear colleagues, we must take this issue very seriously, because injury to one is injury to all. And we must call this agency to order. So it is my personal view that we should immediately set up an ad hoc committee to invite the NDLA and the rest of them, all those involved, to come and justify the allegations against Senator Ashiru, failing which the Senate will take very drastic actions. Is it the view of the Senate that we set up an ad hoc committee to look at this issue holistically and come up with recommendations before the Senate for appropriate action? Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Accordingly, the following names will constitute the ad hoc committee to look into the allegations made on television channels and published in Daily Trust newspaper, which I have a copy here. How we recovered consignment of drugs from Senator Ashiru's house. And this is said to have happened in February last year. And it is only coming up now because you made contributions on the floor of the Senate. So this is Daily Trust. Members of the committee would include Senator Ide Dafinone. We are bringing them all from across the geopolitical zones. Distinguished Senator Ireti Kinkibe, Distinguished Senator Eyinaya Abaribe, Distinguished Senator Afolabi Shuaibu, Distinguished Senator Lawal Usman, and we have Distinguished Senator Kaka Shehu San, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, as chairman of that committee, to report back to the Senate within 1 week because of the seriousness of the issue. Leader of the Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President. Very distinguished colleagues, the, the first business of the day is the presentation of a House bill standing in my name on the Maize Export Bill 2024 HB 1509. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Maize Export Bill 2024, HB 1509, first reading.
Distinguished colleagues, Maize Export Bill 2024 HB 1509, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the second business of the day is the presentation of a House bill also standing in my name on the Federal Colleges of Education Act Amendment Bill 2024 HB 1371. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Federal Colleges of Education Act Amendment Bill 2024, HB 1371, first reading.
Distinguished colleagues, Federal Colleges of Education Act Amendment Bill 2024, HB 1371, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the third business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of most distinguished Senator Aliyu Wadada Ahmed on the Satellite Town Development Commission Bill 2024 SB 533. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Satellite Towns Development Commission Bill 2024, SB 533, first reading.
Distinguished colleagues, FCT Satellite Towns Development Commission Bill 2024, HB 533, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the fourth business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of most distinguished Senator Nwoye Tony on the Existing Vacancies Bill 2024 SB 610. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Existing Vacancies Bill 2024, SB 610, first reading.
Distinguished colleagues, Existing Vacancies Bill 2024, SB 610, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate. Distinguished Senator Kaka, please approach the chair. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the fifth business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of most distinguished Senator Onyewuchi Ezenwa Francis on the counterfeit and fake drugs and unwholesome proceed or processed food miscellaneous provisions act amendment bill 2024 SB 617. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Counterfeit and Fake Drugs and Unwholesome Processed Foods Miscellaneous Provisions Act Amendment Bill 2024, SB 617, first reading.
Distinguished colleagues, Counterfeit and Fake Drugs, Unwholesome Processed Miscellaneous Provisions Act Amendment Bill 2024, SB 617, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the sixth business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of most distinguished Senator Musa Mohammed Sani on the Institute of Information and Communication Technology, Suleja, Niger State, Establishment Bill 2024, SB 619. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Leader of the Senate, clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Institute of Information and Communication Technology, Suleja, Niger State, Establishment Bill 2024, SB 619, first reading.
Distinguished colleagues, Institute of Information and Communication Technology, Suleja, Niger State Establishment Bill 2024, SB 619, first reading taken. The Senate, just before we go further, on the ad hoc committee just set up by the Senate, the members are clearly pointed out, but the ranking senator there, the distinguished Senator Enyinaya Abaribe, will be chairman, while Senator Kaka will be co-chairman. The reason why we are saying that is to enable us have somebody in the event of distinguished Senator Kaka, you will be member stroke co-chairman, but the chairman will be Senator Abaribe. Yes, Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the first order of the day is the second reading of the Federal Medical Centers Act Amendment Bill 2024. Distinguished senators will recall that several bills on this subject matter had undergone first reading from various senators. These bills came up for second reading on Thursday, 4th July 2024, and was debated upon extensively and stood down to accommodate the concerns of senators who were here to introduce bills on the subject matter. The purpose of this, therefore, is to refer the bills to the relevant committee without further debate. Mr. President, with your permission, I move that the bills be read a second time. I so move, Mr. President.
Mr. President. Proceed. Well, the Senate is a democratic institution. So we are still further consulting on the hardcore committee that we set up. We have looked at the principle of ranking, and so the Distinguished Senator Abarebe will be the chairman, and my brother, the senior advocate of Nigeria, Senator Kaka, will be a member to assist him. For the ancestors of the Senate, I think that issue is closed down. Thank you. So, yes. Minority Leader.
Yeah. Distinguished colleagues, I write to second the motion that the bill be read the second time. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded. Those in support that this bill be now read the second time say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So, Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act 2022 and for other matters connected therewith 2024, second reading.
Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act and for other matters connected therewith 2024, SB 142, second reading taken. The bill is now committed to the Committee on Health, Secondary and Tertiary to report back to the Senate within 2 weeks. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the second order of the day is the second reading of the National Food Reserve Agency Establishment Bill 2024, SB 139. Distinguished senators will recall that the bill was read the first time in this chamber on Thursday, 5th October 2023. Mr. President, you may wish to invite most distinguished Senator Salihu Mustafa to move the motion for the bill to be read a second time.
Distinguished Senator Mustafa Saliu.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, my name is Senator Saliu Mustafa, representing Kwara Central. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I rise to move that the bill for an act to establish the National Food Reserve Agency and for related matters be read the second time. Mr. President, with your permission, if I may go ahead to read the lead debate on it. Yes.
Just give us a summary.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the bill for an act to establish the National Food Reserve Agency and for related matters therewith, SB 139, was read the first time in these hallowed chambers on Thursday, 5th October 2023. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the bill seeks to further develop the agricultural sector by ensuring national food security and income through marketing and storage services, as well as addressing emergency food crisis. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the bill will also establish the National Food Reserve Agency for the purpose of implementing the National Food Reserve Policy, reducing post-harvest losses, and providing food security for the nation. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the bill recognizes the need to fill the apparent gap in agricultural development and coordination of programs and projects in the nation with the collaboration of national and international agencies. Establishing an agency for the purpose of food reserve is essential to enhance food and nutritional security. A strategic grain reserve will stabilize staple foods prices for the benefit of both consumers and farmers. And the National Food Reserve Agency, when established, will facilitate and provide guidelines for the establishment and maintenance of buffer stock that will ensure price stabilization and food security. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the proposed Food Reserve Agency will be responsible for storing food, grains, and other commodities for strategic purposes. The present hardship faced in relation to soaring prices of food commodities can be mitigated with the existence of this agency, which could have ensured price stabilization and ensure availability of food produce with maintenance of the buffer stock.
Are you having difficulty?
No, I thought you were calling my attention.
No, I'm not. I'm looking at you
Okay, sir.
to hear you well.
Mr. President, the objective